to order for the special call meeting. I'll ask Commissioner Edwards, would you have our invocation, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. If you bow our heads, please. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another wonderful opportunity, another wonderful year, Lord. We ask that you guide us, give us wisdom and discernment, and that you watch over us, take us all home safely, and bless our citizens too, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Commissioner Mason, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion for the adoption of this agenda.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Item 3, now it is time for us to enter into the executive session to discuss litigation. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? We adjourn? Okay. Second? Second. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Now we'll call to order the January 6, 2026 meeting of the Newton County Board of Commissioners. If I could ask Commissioner Henderson, would you have our invocation? And Commissioner Long, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Everyone bow their heads, please. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before Thee just to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come to the meeting, to have a meeting, and then come back to another meeting. We know that You are a God whom sits up high and look down low, who loves us and want us to be a reflection of You. So guide us in this meeting so that we can do Your work. This we pray in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. Before we move forward, I need a motion to add an amendment number 8 to the agenda. Do we have a motion to add that amendment? We have a second? All in favor? Okay, I need a motion now to accept the amendment and the agenda so we can move forward.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. We have the adoption of the agenda. At this time, we'll have the public comments. This time is to allow the public to comment or voice their concerns or opinions regarding agenda topics only. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. So is there anyone that would like to make any public comments tonight? Okay, this time the public comments will be closed. Under item number 5, reports from the chairman, we have a special recognition tonight. Commissioner Edwards is going to present that to Mr. Scott Fuss. If you'd like to come forward, please. If your family would like to come with you, friends.
Madam Chair, can we get them to hold off for 1 second? I want to read something first.
Sure,
Is that okay?
sure.
Thank you. Sit back down, Scott. Thank you, Madam Chair. So occasionally we get to recognize certain individuals in our community that they go above and beyond, and not necessarily in terms of heroics, but in terms of being selfless. And we have one such person of that caliber here tonight. And I'm not saying Scott's the only one of that caliber in our community. There are a lot, I'm sure there are plenty, but Scott is one that jumps off the page at me because he's one of my good friends. And if you'll bear with me 1 second, I want to read something from the Snapping Show's Facebook page, and it's not verbatim, but it's close. And it gives you an idea of what took place last year on more than one occasion, by the way. So, on June 19th, 2025, Scott Fuss was leaving work and planned to stop for gas on his way home. But after speaking with his wife, Christy, he decided to skip the gas station and head straight home. Been there, done that. So, as he neared home, Scott noticed what appeared to be an abandoned truck on the side of the road. As he got closer, he saw a deployed airbag and an arm raised inside the cab of the truck. Sensing something was wrong, Scott immediately pulled over and ran to the vehicle. While reaching into the cab to turn off the ignition, Scott noticed the distinct scent of gasoline. He also noticed a man slumped over and unresponsive. And what I didn't read into this is there's a young lady present too, also in the vehicle. So Scott quickly checked the pulse, but there was none. Scott helped the woman out of the vehicle and then went to remove the unresponsive man. Once both were out safely, he asked the woman to assist with rescue breathing while he performed CPR. Scott continued administering CPR for more than 15 minutes until paramedics arrived. He then continued assisting first responders. After 4 attempts with a defibrillator, the emergency crew was able to revive the man, and both he and the woman were transported to the hospital. Only after his heroic act did Scott learn the victims were the parents of a co-worker, Ben Malcolm. Ben's father had suffered a widowmaker heart attack due to a 90% blockage. Ben's mother recovered quickly from her injuries, but his father spent several weeks in the ICU. Today's Ben's father is nearly fully recovered. And I believe this was as of the first part of December. And I'll read on a little further. Something happened to Scott and Scott's family back in 2024 as he received a frantic call from his daughter Hannah, who had swerved to avoid a deer and crashed her car into a local pond. The vehicle was rapidly sinking and the electronic locks and windows had failed. Hannah was trapped inside and unable to escape. Scott rushed to the scene, which was 2 miles from his home, fortunately. Scott's wife, Christy, stayed on the phone with both Hannah and 911. Just the day before, Scott had found a glass break tool in the employee parking lot at Snappy Shoals and had been keeping that tool in his pocket until he could locate the owner. With no time to spare, he used the tool to shatter the passenger window of Hannah's car and pull her to safety. Seconds later, the car sank to the bottom of the lake. A few days later, Scott was returning the glass break tool to its rightful owner, but not before explaining how it had saved his daughter's life. The owner at Snapping Shoals EMC lineman graciously told Scott to keep it. But I said all that to say this. Again, we have these extraordinary individuals in our community, throughout our community, I'm sure. But today, I'm so honored to be able to say this about my friend Scott Fuss, and I'll read this. I'll read this. We got something for you, Scott, so I'll try to read it. It says, Scott Fuss, from the Newton County Board of Commissioners Guardian Angel Award, January 2026. Special recognition for your selfless acts of care, concern, and life-saving sacrifices. Thank you so much. Now you can come down. If you guys want to come out. Madam Chair, let me add that if you ever need a fill-in preacher, Scott can do that. He can play the guitar, he can sing, he can carve, he can paint. He does it all. So the most talented individual I know. So thank you again, Scott.
Thank you, Commissioner Edwards. It's well deserved. Now we'll have our reports from the county manager.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I would like to bring up the directors, the new directors, to the podium. So I would like to introduce our new directors, first with Aaliyah Lazinski, is a newly appointed Animal Service Director for Newton County. She's a graduate of 2019 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, concentrating in law and public policy. She began her career with Animal Service in February of 2021. She served in various capacities since that time. She stepped into the role as director and is committed to continuing and improving Newton County Animal Services, fostering positive work environment for the employees while ensuring the highest standards and care for the animals in department services. I would also like to introduce Carmen Cunningham. She is incoming GIS director, responsible for overseeing Newton County geospatial systems and leading a wonderful team of GIS professionals in the department. With over 10 years of experience in GIS developing and data management, she specialized in data-driven strategic planning and answering critical questions. Ms. Cunningham is committed to fostering a collaborative environment and implementing innovative with GIS. And last but not least, we'd like to introduce Nick Sorrells. He is the incoming director in informational services. Nick has been working for the Newton County IT department for over 9 years with 15 years of overall information technology experience. He also performs with the Covington Conyers Community Orchestra and with the Newton County Community Band. One of his major goals for the department is to improve the county's network wireless infrastructure and system security. So this is the team that we have brought on to take the county forward into the future. And they will also be a part of the county for the commissioner's budget in action on our next rotation on January 22nd. So we would like to welcome and thank you for joining our team. And just want to open up any questions you may have for the directors, but we'll have them again kind of give an overlay for all the commissioners in the January 22nd for each department. So this will be the team that we'll be presenting to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you all. Item number 7 is the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to item number 8, and that would be the discussion of the vice chair appointment. Is there?
Madam Chairman, I think we're next on the rotation for the vice chair. But after further consideration, talking with my current job, I don't have the flexibility in case we have to have daytime meetings, things of that nature in your absence. I don't have that I wouldn't have that flexibility to accept the role of the vice.
All right. Thank you. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say this, typically, it has always been whoever, what you call it, Georgia football, next man up. And that's what they do. And I talked a little bit to somebody today I was talking to, and they were talking to me about it and I go back to a former commissioner, Commissioner Sanders. When she was elected, it fell down to her being the vice chair. And there was a discussion, but the bottom line was that was part of the job that you do is being part of the vice chair. I don't believe you can just pass it on to somebody else. It's something you have to, do, from my opinion. So, you know, maybe I think you would have to, just give you tell you what, my opinion is, and it's not my opinion, it's the way it's always been done, is that you would have to accept it. And then maybe if someone by another, if you had to work, then maybe Madam Chair would ask somebody else to do it at that particular point. But it's not something that I can pass down. So I said, I can't do it for whatever reason. I'm gonna get the commission along. It's set up being a rotation. It's for each individual commissioner to do it, to get that little bit of experience. So maybe they might think of running for chair at some point, and they would have that experience to be a help towards them. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, if you'd like, at your request, I can read the actual vice chair regulations so that everyone is clear on the rules for that.
Yes.
It's, okay.
Thank you,
Ye-
please do.
Yes, ma'am. It's listed under section 1-104 for vice chair, and it indicates letter A, the vice chair shall be elected by a majority of the board no sooner than the first meeting in January of each year and no later than the second meeting in January of each year. The vice chair shall serve for a period of 1 year and shall assume the duties of the chair in the absence of the chair, except that the vice chair may not exercise except that the vice chair may not exercise the chair's right to vote in the event of a tie. Letter B, the vice chair shall have the same rights and privileges of any other commissioner and no other authority above and beyond any other commissioner. So since our District 3 commissioner has relinquished his designation for this year, it simply calls for a vote of the Board of Commissioners. We would need a motion and a second and then a vote.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Henderson?
Well, I'm under the same as Commissioner Cooper. And this is, if I choose to, is an election year for me. And I can't see myself trying to do 2 jobs in an election year. And typically, I say it's targeted to the ones who are maybe not going to be in the rotation of elections. So to place me or put me in it, that's something that I just don't want to accept. Maybe pass it on Commissioner Long. I'm sure she'd be a great, terrific vice chair for us. Yay, Commissioner. Thank you.
So the way that our rules read, then we have a nomination. So is that your nomination?
Yes, ma'am. She's next in line.
Oh, okay. Okay. So are there any other nominations? Okay. You gonna make that in the form of a motion?
I can't get stand. I so moved what Madam Chair says, is to ask Commissioner Long, she would serve as vice chair for this year.
Okay. Do we have a second? All in favor? Oh, discussion. Okay, we'll have discussion.
Do I need to accept this? I'm a little concerned. It's getting passed around the room, so I do accept the nomination.
Okay, all in favor? All right. So Commissioner Long will be our new vice chair for 2026. Item number 9, consideration of Newton County Sheriff's Office request for 8 new detention officers positions for staffing needs. And that'll be presented by our Sheriff Ezell Brown.
Good evening, Madam Chair,
Good evening.
and those of you that make up this board. Ms. Johnson, it's a pleasure meeting you on this night. The commissioners, you have visited the jail, all but Commissioner Cooper, and I don't believe there was a need for him to visit the jail because he should know it just like he would look at his hand. You know the conditions, and you know what we're up against. So I'm simply here to ask for those positions. But before I ask for those positions, we want to talk about how we arrived where we are today. Historically, many of you do not have the knowledge of how we arrived at the position that we're in. We're also going to talk about those contingencies. Commissioner Edwards, it was your idea. And I was accepted that idea when it was brought up because I believed in honesty, believed in transparency, and believed that we could move forward in those things that we state. So tonight, Ruben will come forward, and he's going to speak on the financial side of it. Ms. Birch is going to come back, and she's going to talk about the positions, and then I will come back and talk about other areas of concern.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity once again. I just want to provide a very quick financial overview, as the Sheriff said. Next slide, please. As you know, the Sheriff's Office is more than just the black and white cars that you see outside. You know, we have many, many divisions, whether it be a SWAT unit, Grant Administration, Chaplain Unit, detention. You know, Sheriff's Office consists of so many different operating pieces and so many different, it's a city within itself. Next slide, please. Just very quick, we have about approximately 281 employees and counting. Of those, 105 are from the detention center. Sheriff's Office about 161, and our student resource officers out there in the schools are about 15. Our current inmate count, it's a little higher as of today, but last check was about 528. And as you know, these are the locations that we serve, so it's more than just the Alcovy Center that many of you all know already. So very quickly, just want to go into the fiscal of it. Next slide. Just want to share an operational budget history. This is pretty much all the funds that we've received compared to what we have spent out in terms of the operational piece. This does not count our personnel piece. So as you can see through the graph above, there are many times, you know, when starting off, I know the letters are kind of hard to see on the bottom, but it starts off with fiscal year 2019. Well, we received more funds for operation than we actually expensed. You see the red line, that represents the amount that we've expensed every single year. And it's, if you do an average, it's consistent about 7.5% to 8% increase every year. As we know, contracts go up, food costs go up, things like that go up. You know, we have over 528 inmates, and each 3 square a day, 365. That's by law. We have to provide inmate services, which include food, medical, bed sheets, you name it. So something happened roughly around fiscal year 23 when we started seeing a shift where operational expenses continue to go up just like they normally would, but our award has gone down. Until now, we're at fiscal year 26. Our operational expenses actually went, our operational award, excuse me, went down compared to the previous year. Next slide. Because of the before last fiscal year, we were always using and being good stewards of the funding as much as possible. So from fiscal year 21 through fiscal year 24, when you look at the budget as one big piggy bank, we didn't use about $4.8 million of our awarded budget, you know, because we didn't want to spend the budget just to spend it. We want to make sure that we're good stewards of the budget. I myself live in Newton County, and I'm raising a family there, so I really want to make sure we're good stewards of the budget. So I just wanted to share that for those 4 years, we gave back $4.8 million. Next slide. Excuse me. Last fiscal year, in total, this is just a very quick overview. We had $39.5 million worth of expenses. That's not just our general fund budget. That includes some of our what's called our date funds, our capital funds, our inmate funds as well. Just to let you know by the numbers, over 652,000 inmate meals were served just in fiscal year 25 alone, and nearly 630,000 separate medical services were provided to inmates alone. We did over 121 new contracts and over 6,600 invoices. That still, my head is spinning because of that. Next slide. So just very quickly, I did want to share with you how we got into where we're at right now. In fiscal year 25, when it's opened up so we can make the request to ask for funding for the inmate medical expenses. Now, mind you, these are expenses that were required by law, of course. Inmate medicals, every inmate that comes into our facility needs to have access to quality medical services. We requested $3.6 million. We were awarded $2.9. We ended up expensing at the end of the fiscal year a little more than $3.7, which is a difference of $735,000. With the food, we did a little bit better. We tried our best, but as we know, food prices go up. We requested 1.4 and change. We're awarded 1.1. We ended up expending 1.25, which was a little bit better than we anticipated, but it was still not enough. That's why we went over in that line item. Prisoner expenses is kind of a catch-all to all the expenses that an inmate requires, whether it be the clothing they wear, the bed sheets that they use, every single thing that an inmate needs and requires has to be covered. We requested $255,000 and change. We were awarded $100,000. We ended up expensing a little less than we had requested, $233,000, but that's still a $133,000 difference. So just in these three line items alone, we're already overspent $925,000 for last fiscal year. And these are line items that we really cannot skimp on. We're by law mandated to provide these basic services. Next line. Another area of concern is our employee overtime. We requested $2.76 million in overtime. We're awarded only $690,000. We ended up expensing much more than we anticipated, about $3.5 million, which is a difference of 2.8. As you know, for every overtime dollar that is expensed, you also have to factor in a percentage for Social Security FICA and a percentage for retirement. And that's why we went over in our retirement as well. People oftentimes ask, well, how come y'all doing so much overtime? Just a reminder that we're a 24/7, 365 operation, and being the budget director for the Sheriff's Office, I can tell you I've done analysis all across the nation, and this is a same issue that's going on in every single city, every single county. Overtime is always a concern because you're growing a population. As our population continues to grow, we start seeing more and more people here. Those 2 a.m. phone calls, who do you expect to answer it? More training, more certifications are required every single year as we start relooking our things at not only the federal level, but at the local levels as well. Special events coverage, 4th of July, lighting of the tree. You have all our officers out there, our county meetings. God forbid there's a cyber attack that we need to send out our staff. Even our building maintenance team doesn't clock out per se. Lots of times I've gotten calls at 3 in the morning, Ruben, we need to make a purchase because this is going on in the building right now. And so manhunts, lost children, even snowstorms that happened in January where some of us could go home, all of our officers and staff had to stay at and be there taking care of business and keeping our county safe. Next slide. So those are the lines that really, really hard if you say, Ruben, how can we skimp? How can we, squeeze the toothpaste? Those are really hard to do. Now comes the other line items. This is everything else. This can include employee salaries. This includes the uniforms. This includes ammunition. This includes the guns, the pistols, everything. We requested $31 million. We were awarded $26. We end up expensing $24. So about 99% of the work that I do is focused in these line items, and I'm happy to say that we actually came under what we anticipated, about 1.8 unspent or saved. These are the ones that we're doing our best to try to skimp on. Next slide. So in total, if you look at, where we came at roughly for 2025 for fiscal year, we had an overage about 2.2, roughly 2.3 million. So now with that, we're looking at our current year, fiscal year 26. We definitely wanted to make sure that we made a positive difference. We're trying to adjust our numbers as best as we can. So we tried our best to look at, okay, well, since we knew we did this much for employee overtime, let's request this amount. So this fiscal year, we requested 3.4 million. We're awarded the same amount as last year, 690,000, which is a difference of 2.7 of our request. For operational expenses, like I told you, we did as much as we can, but contracts are going up. We have, so many contracts with so many different entities. A lot of them are sole source as well, which means they're the only vendor that can do it. We requested 13 million and change. We were only awarded 8.2. Our capital improvements, we do have a small amount of capital funds, but we need much more. That includes, the purchase of vehicles and things like that. We requested 4.5 million. Unfortunately, no dollars were awarded. So in total, we requested in these three general categories about 21.6, and we're only awarded less than 9 million. Next slide, please. So looking at comparing 25 to 26, the operations budget, and once again, just as a reminder, these are like all the things that you think about when you see an officer, when you look at the detention people, the uniforms, the cleaning supplies, everything that makes up the operations of the business, non-personnel. For fiscal year 25, we were given 8.7 million, and once again, contracts go up every single year. We were actually given 445,000 less this fiscal year. It makes it really difficult to have any momentum and to skimp when we don't know how much we could skimp anymore. Next slide. So this is one of the last slides that I want to share. The overall award, where were we at today? So in our last analysis that we did, I did an analysis on the 19th, which represents about 47% of the fiscal year. Our total awarded for those 5 budget areas listed on the top was about 34.8 million. What's remaining as of 12/19 is about 12.4 million. Which means we have about 36% of our award remaining. We should be close to that 47% number, but because of getting less operations budget and less overtime, unfortunately, we're at only 36% less of our budget. Next slide. We have implemented strategies to cut cost. All purchases, unlike and believe me, I sit on cohorts with other counties and things like that, and they're very surprised to say, wow, all purchases come through you first before it goes to Brittany and her team? I said, yes, absolutely. We make sure to scrutinize every single purchase, whether it be a stapler, whether it be a vehicle. And so all purchases come through the finance team. We fact check it. We make sure that we're getting best bang for our buck. We do the best we can every single time. We changed our inmate food vendor in 2023, and we're saving more than $150,000 a year. Just by going through a new shredding company, we're saving about $10,000 to $12,000 per year, taking advantage of government pricing, in-house expertise, statewide contracts, even delaying purchases. Do you really need it right now? Can it hold off for another month? Can we try? You can only do so much. That's the best thing I could provide. Next slide. And so, with that said, we wanted to provide you just with a little fiscal overview. I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Brandy Birch, who's going to talk a little bit about our actual request today.
Good evening, everyone. My portion is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. So I just want to give you a little bit of background on how we got to where we are today on the positions. So since fiscal year 22, we have not been awarded any new positions. Though we needed them, we have not been awarded any. So we're going to talk specifically about the detention officer personnel request. So keep in mind, this is specifically detention officer positions. In fiscal year 22, we requested 6 additional detention officers. And in fiscal 21, we had contingency positions that were not carried over into fiscal year 24. Now, granted, we did not know that we were not going to have those contingency positions placed back into fiscal year 22, so we lost those positions. And that included 4 detention officer position and then 14 other positions that we did not receive as well. In fiscal year 23, we requested 6 positions because we still needed those 6 positions in that particular fiscal year, and we were awarded no additional positions. Again, in fiscal year 24, same thing. We needed 6 positions for detention officers, and at that time, we forewent those additional positions for that fiscal year because the county was working on the new pension plan, which we all appreciate. A wonderful thing, and we thought it was something great to do, and we were okay with that. Fiscal year 25, as you know, the population grows. Also during that time, let me back up a little bit. Through fiscal year 22 up through 24, there was a little bit of lack in the applicant pool. As you know, law enforcement across the nation is dealing with being able to get applicants in. So, of course, we had some vacant positions at that time, not too many, but as you know, now that floodgate is opening up for those applicants. And when a person or in law enforcement applies for a position in law enforcement, they're applying at several different agencies around that local area. And the first one that calls them, that's the one they're gonna go with. So if we don't have a position to put them in, they're going to that agency that has called them, and then we lose out on that eligible applicant. So fiscal year 25, we needed 8 positions for detention officer and were awarded none. And today in fiscal year 26, same thing, 8 positions were requested and we were awarded none again. So with that being said, I just want to make sure that you understand that we are needing additional positions at this time because that floodgate has opened up. We're getting a ton of applicants right now, eligible applicants that we want to be able to bring in. And sometimes when you're going through the process of, you know, coming before the board, that takes time, approving the positions, then we lose out on those applicants that are coming through the door. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't want to go into your, if you're going to have 7:30.
No, that's fine. We don't have.
Okay,
songs.
good. Then I'll move on. It's good to come back. Thank you, Ms. Birch. But I want to dig down a little bit deeper because there were some things that she omitted from a historical point. Let me just say this. Back in 2010, and this is something that we didn't share or bring up earlier. In 2010, if you notice that we had the downturn in the economy. When we had that downturn in the economy, we laid off 22 individuals. 22. Most of those individuals from the jail. Most of them was from the jail. We have not recouped that. And I know you hear a lot about, well, the sheriff always talk about that layoff. But we have not recouped that. And I think if you see what was presented, that's proof in the pudding. We have not recouped that. This is all about safety of the officers, safety of the inmates. This is what it's all about. And I can assure you right now, we're having a staffing analysis conducted. We operate from a state and federal laws. No local laws instruct us how to run the jail. And even if I come up with a policy, that policy have to be in line with the state and federal laws. So with that said, we lost those individuals in 2010. Laid them off. We lost about $4 million. We didn't get that back. You heard what Ms. Birch said. Now, we was 2.2 million over last year, and then you turn around and you cut the budget by 2 million plus. The math just ain't mapping. It's just not. The $2.2 million that we spent, you took good money and throwed it down the drain. You could have taken $800,000, fund the positions that were requested. You would not have paid over $500,000 in benefits. You would not have paid the remainder of the money in overtime. I don't think you all are seeing the big picture that we see all the time. When the jail was built in 2023, the population here was between 70 and 75,000. We had about 350 inmates there at the time. Now, we are more than, and I can assure you, probably around 135,000 or better. Our population in the jail has increased. The number of detention officers that we had at the time, I would say probably when we started was about 60. Now we're at 48. We have about 13 posts at the office. 13. We operate from 12 to 13 per shift. So if someone call out that they're sick, or what we have to do, we have to require mandatory overtime to make sure that we have adequate staff at the jail. So there's no win-win-win when you're holding back the funding. As I said, the $2.4 million that we went over, you cut 2.4, so that's $5 million. And then you're expecting us to come in on budget, and I think Ruben told it so well, so eloquent, that we're at 36% now, and we haven't reached the 6-month period, hardly. So it's no way. So Commissioner Long and all of you, Mason, Edwards, Cooper, Henderson, we're going to be way over $2 million this year. We're going to be over. And it's not going to be on the backs of the Office of Sheriff. It's going to be on the backs of the ones that, as some would say, hold the purse string. That's who it's going to be on. If we was good stewards and we turned back $4 million, don't you think today, if we had adequate funding, we would do the same thing? So we're having a staffing analysis conducted, and I can assure you from just my expertise, that we are more than 50 officers short for safety and security of the jail. You need to know that. And I certainly hope when that staffing analysis come out, I'm going to present it before you. And once I present it before you, then we're going to move forward in whatever manner necessary to make sure that we maintain the safety of the officers and the staff there at the organization, and to make sure that we are doing everything we can to provide the best protection for our community. And I think each and every, Commissioner Edwards, I think it was you, walked in on the day of your visit. Was it you walked in? And as we walked into the door, there was a situation broke out. That was you. And it wasn't, okay, well, somebody own up to it. Okay, all right then, okay, all right. No, we wouldn't let you out if you had gotten into it. But anyway, on that note, who was present? Who was operating that facility? It was a female, right? It was a female. And we had 30+ inmates out when that happened. Just so happened, we happened to be there at the time, and we were able to diffuse the situation in the presence of Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Henderson. And I look at it like this, think of it, and I ask you, would you work in a cell where there's 35+, and it was only you? And you knew that it was going to take 10 minutes before a responding officer could get there. I ask all of you that, and every last one of you said no. Every last one of you said no. Just think of it. If it was your loved one, was an inmate, and was being assaulted, but was injured because response time. Or if your loved one, who was the detention officer, was injured. I take this job serious. I take it serious. And I impound that on each and every last one of my staff members, whether they're on the corrections side or whether they're on the law enforcement side, whether they're on court services. I take it serious. Do you not know that this is the only profession, only, that gives you license to take a life? Do you understand that? So therefore, it requires training, the best of training. It requires the best of officers. And the list goes on and on. And I want you to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind in your decision. Now, again, on tonight, we're asking for those 8 positions. We get the 8 positions. We're not asking you to dump the money into the account. We're not asking you that. We're asking you to give personnel the numbers, and as we hire the individuals, you put the money into the account. That's what we're asking. That's all we're asking. And as Ms. Birch alluded to say, applicants, for whatever reason, gentlemen, y'all don't show up. We have ladies, and thanks to the ladies, they're the ones that's running the jail. Thanks to all of the guys, but it's the ladies. We have more female staff members than males. So make a decision to protect staff. Make a decision to protect the inmates. I want to see everyone go back home, and I want to see every last one of the inmates uninjured. They do their time there, they go home, or they be shipped out, and they shipped out without any problems. I thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Commissioner Henderson?
Well, I just want to say this, Sheriff Brown, I commend you from the way you have always ran the jail. And sometimes I know over the years, we haven't been too kind as far as money and asking back. I remember one year, it was during the depression, not depression, but when and we want you to give back $200,000 to help out, and you did, and you never did get it back. But you know, we need to take a good hard look at this, y'all, because when I went there, you were 100% right. There was ladies guarding the cell of guys, and there was a shortage, and you could tell it. Not only could we see it, but we could tell it. And that's not right, y'all. And one thing I want to divert to our county manager. For the past few months, I've been asking for the audit. You know, every year, it's monies that pull over to, the next budget. And I've been asking for that particular number. And so have we received our audit, James?
The audit was concluded on December 30th, so we will have that number to you on the next board meeting.
Okay, so I think, this is something I think that we really need to address as soon as possible. And I'm just add one other thing too. I still can't get out of my head that we're using ladies when there's no men's. And not only in the office of sheriff, it's in the fire department too. Yeah, in the fire department, the ladies who are hired, maybe right now, I think who are hired having to sleep in Station 1, which is in District 4, not separate from the guys. I don't like that. I don't like this using the same restroom. I don't like that. Because I don't want my daughter or my wife or anybody's to be under those conditions. We need to tighten up, y'all. We need to tighten up. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to clear, I'm sure this is a historical piece, and many of you do not know what Commissioner Henderson is talking about, the $200,000. Well, back, I want to say it's 2010, there was a shortage, and back then, the late John Middleton called me, and the county could not make budget, and I agreed to make payroll, and I agreed to make the payroll from the Office of Sheriff. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, she sure did. Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate you, Sheriff. Like Sheriff said, I spent many years there, working there. So it put me a little at an advantage from probably the rest of the commissioners. And I know he said response time and when needing help in the jail, I think he said 3 minutes, but I know I had to run downstairs a couple of times, and it probably took me 10 minutes. But the saying that I have seen a working short staff, and just seeing how it's still ran. He still done an excellent job with the staff that he had. And I know a lot of his certification and things require a certain amount, if I'm not correct, Sheriff, but I think certification requires a certain amount of staff to operate. Like I said, I just want to let you know that I have seen it, and it is needed. Personnel is needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just come in on that. Thank you for bringing that out. All of you need to know that we just completed our ACA reaccreditation, and my staff, I give credit to my staff, all of them, from the initial start of the accreditation, we received a 100. And on the final audit 2 weeks ago, we got a 100. Unheard of. So when we go across the nation for the plaque to be honored, you have organizations from various places of this country want to see that office of sheriff who've maintained a 100. So with that said, not because of me, and I say it all the time, not because of me, but it's because of those who believe in me and those who stand behind me. You have one of the greatest organizations there is this side of the Mason-Dixon line, and I can tell you that.
I believe you've had several accreditations. This is not the first.
This is not the first. Since 2017? Since 2017, we have been getting a 100.
Congratulations.
And we're in the top 40s in the nation out of 3,000. In the state, we're like number 4. And for the Georgia Sheriff's Association, we're number 2 out of 159.
We appreciate everything you do. everything your officers do.
Thank you.
Commissioner Long?
And I have to say that the jail was very impressive. I've known you for over 30 years, and I think you do an outstanding job at the jail. Anybody that knows you can tell that you're meticulous as can be, which is great because it shows through with all the deputies, it shows through with the cars, it shows through with the jail. So I want to say that first because I do totally believe in that. I think our visit at the jail was very impressive, but I did not expect it not to be impressive, to be honest with you. I knew that it would be ran top notch. I can tell when we walked around with you and the deputies, what a great relationship you guys all have there, and that's important in any work relationship. So it was very easy to see that. It's very to see that from the other deputies. I don't hear complaints. God knows we're getting them from other people. We don't get them from your guys, and we don't get them from the people at the Sheriff's Department. So to me, that is commending to you, number one, because you are the leader of that department down there. I'll be honest with you. I came in here tonight ready to give you these positions right then. I know you need them. We saw that you needed them. My concern now, based on the presentation that you guys gave, is I feel like that there's so many unanswered numbers that I've been asking for that I don't understand, that I'm trying to get a handle on, and that is our job to make sure of that. I want you to have, and I told you this when we were at the Sheriff's Department, we want to be safe. We want to give you the people that you need. I just need to understand the numbers. And I hear things like the budget, that we cut the budget, we didn't give positions. There was never any breakdown. There was a number given. What we're told is that you're given a solid number, and then you guys divide it up how you want to. So to say that we didn't give positions, I don't think that's a fair statement, and I don't want that to go out that we're not giving you positions. Yes, if there's money that is not there, that's the total money, then I understand that. You know, when this budget was done for 2025, 2026, it was looked at and said, where are they year to date? And then that money was added with percentages. It was, I believe there was some like 40, you're saying 38,000, I thought it was somewhere around 40 that was requested. At that time, nobody knew that there was a $2.2 million deficit at that time. We did not get that information at that time. In fact, I don't think we got that information until, 2 months ago when the audit was being done, that the Sheriff's Department was over $2.2 million. So the budget was given based on the prior knowledge that we had at that time, just like every department was given. We have constraints too. I can't tell you, we've already gotten 5 emails in December from other departments that are now telling us we need this, we need a new system, we need this. You made a great point when we were at the Sheriff's Department. You say, you know, we can't wait for the things that we need because we're saving lives. Okay, and that's an important statement that you made to us. And I understand that. So if we need people, we'll figure it out. My thing that I'm having a problem with, and I've asked this, I've sent emails, I've asked for these things. I need to understand how all the numbers go together, because 1 minute we say 2.4 million, then 1 minute we say 2.2 million. And then we have numbers that, Reuben did a great presentation, but those numbers don't jive with the numbers I'm looking at. So I need to just understand that in my brain. But as far as the people, that y'all need to hire 8 people immediately, I don't think anybody has a problem with that. I think we have to just look at it from all different stance of where this money comes from, what happened to the money, what if you were given 34 million. I know there's different pockets. The jail has its set of money, the SO has its money. That's hard to kind of put our arms around it. You've been doing this for a long time, so you understand it. We do not understand that. And as commissioner, I have to make sure that I understand if I'm saying yes to money. Okay? Not saying you can't have it. I think you need the 8 people. We know you do. We saw that. Okay? The county has grown. You've got to add people. I think when you say that we gave back money, from what my understanding is they allocate the employees. Like when you hire them, then we move the money over just like we're doing for other departments. So those people were never hired. That's why that money was given back. There was positions that were never hired for in these years. Am I correct with that?
You're correct. However, now, with that said, in my mind of minds, we gave it back. Mm-hmm. But if we come back the next year and say we need 8 positions, and we come back the next year and say we need 8.
Did y'all fill the 8 last year that you asked for?
No, we didn't get them.
So
That's the
nobody
point.
came before
We
to
haven't
ask?
gotten any positions since what was that?
Okay, but you're saying you didn't get any positions, but I'm saying you got
No
allocated
finance,
money.
no finance. We get positions. All of that come into positions. Is that right, Ruben? All of that come in as positions.
Okay.
And we cannot take that money for employees and move it over there for capital. It stays in
Okay, okay, right, and
the
that makes
employee
sense.
line. So when I say we did not get the funding,
Mm-hmm.
it means that the funding for the positions did not come.
Did you request those 8 last year, come before the board and ask for the 8?
Yes,
And y'all didn't get funding for them last year?
we didn't get funded since 20 what? 21. We haven't gotten a position since 2021.
Okay, well, I can't speak to that because I wasn't here,
Okay.
but, you know, you're asking for 8 now, and like I said, when I came in here tonight, I think that, you know, getting positions, if that's what you guys need, then we have to fund these positions. I just want to make sure, and you guys say this all the time to me, yes, Leanne, we're watching our pennies, we're watching our dollars, we're watching our, I just need to see that flow to understand for me. But if you say you're doing it, then,
I think, you know, you said something very eloquent earlier about how you respect me and how you, I think that should be an understanding that we're not going to do anything with the money.
oh, I don't think
Yeah.
you will. That's not what I'm
So
saying.
what I'm saying here is simply, the fact is, the money was never given to us. The position was never given to us. And when the money when the positions come over, then
Once they're hired, the money comes over, right?
that's right.
Correct. Yeah,
That's
okay,
correct.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
that's it. And that's
And-
what we're asking tonight.
Yeah,
So
we-
since
yes.
2017, we haven't received not one position, and we have not received any funding for positions.
Okay.
Right. And I understand what you're saying, and I think Ruben and the finance person now is going to get together.
Working
And-
with us to get that.
And I think what need to happen, and Ruben is better at that than I am, but I'm pretty swift with numbers. What need to happen is allocate the positions, give us the money for the positions, and the remaining of the funds, whether it's capital or whatever the case may be, once Ruben add up that bottom line in terms of what it's going to cost, you give us that dollar amount, and then we create our own line items. Then it would keep Ruben from having to put $150 over there for tires, $25 over here for oil, and then he's got to go back and just shuffle it.
Commissioner Henderson?
It's just one thing that concerns me, Sheriff Brown, is the fact that we're out in public and telling everybody, say, hey, we might be some deputies short, or we might be some cars short. This is something that needs to be discussed and resolved in somewhat of an executive session atmosphere. Because there's always people out there trying to do bad things to people, and if they can discover your weakness, then that's what they do. I would like to think that we live in a perfect world and everybody says, well, we're going to do right, amen. But it don't work that way. And so, you know, I think we need to work on that too. And one last thing, and I think I understand, is that if you hire a deputy, you got to get a car, you got to give him a gun, you got to give him a uniform, etc. So it's just not something where you say, well, I'm going to give you the money for a deputy, and that's all that they need to just pay for the deputy. There's accessories that go with that officer during that course of hiring somebody. And so, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to shut up. Let's stop shortchanging the office of sheriff. Let's stop shortchanging our public people who be out helping firefighters, etc. We need to stop doing that. We need to help them to move forward by our protection. And we don't need to, I think, I may be wrong, be out in public trying to discuss, as somebody told me one time at a meeting, our dirty laundry. Let's go ahead and do something and move forward. Work together. Thank you.
Commissioner Edwards?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Sheriff, and your staff for being here tonight. I think I can't speak for everybody else, but I came here prepared tonight to vote for these positions. But I think for me personally, the key, and I'm still prepared to vote for those positions, but the key for me was on that last slide where I saw at the bottom, you're asking for 8 detention officers, and it said currently all your open positions are filled in that particular job title.
That's
So,
correct.
so
All but, I think
that,
we have
that,
a,
that helps me quite a bit.
okay.
So, you know, I'm a person of 95% employment rate in a particular job title. It's time to talk about new positions. It's time to talk about growing that department. So that's, just to let you know, that's where my head is. I don't think you have any problem understanding where my head was, but when we got open positions, as long as we're 95% filled in those positions, it's time to talk about new positions. So I just want to let you know that.
Okay.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you.
So we have a motion. Second? Discussion? All in favor?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, staff. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, officers. Okay, we'll move to item number 10, consideration of Sunbelt Builders Amendment Number 1, Newton County Factory Shoals Park, and that will be presented by Jeff Prine and Benjamin Anderson.
Good evening. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Tonight, what we're bringing forward to you is an amendment for the guaranteed maximum price of $1.5 million to do the construction work at the Factory Shoals Park. We've been working with our design team over the last year and with James and also with Raymond, and determine the best use of those funds. And tonight we're bringing it forward to you so we can get it approved and move into the construction phase. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
No questions? We have a motion?
Motion. I'll make a motion to approve the guarantee contract. I think there is an amendment on there for $3,500 that was for some design or something. Is that right?
Their base contract was $3,500 for pre-construction services.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're adding 1.5 to it to get it to the 15350.
Okay. So does my amendment need to be 1.5 or does it need to be 1.5, 300 and
The
3,500?
new contract, after we do the amendment, will be $1,500,3,500.
Okay. So I'll make a motion for that.
Okay, do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item 11, consideration of a budget transfer to reallocate funds from management and administrative process of the pauper indigent burial expenses to the Newton County Coroner's Office from the County Clerk's Office. And that would be Brittany White and James Brown, our county manager.
Good evening again, Madam Chair, Commissioners. This is just a budget transfer to move the indigent burial and proper from the BOC's budget line to the coroner's budget line.
Commissioner Edwards?
Thank you, Madam Chair. James, what was that budgeted amount? You remember?
7,800.
I saw all the emails, but there was $2 million too many to read, so.
Yeah, I think $7,800.
$7,800. So that $7,800 is probably based on what the clerk's office had seen over the historical. Okay.
That is correct.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, James.
Commissioner Henderson?
I guess I'm asking because I don't know, where's the coroner is, I guess, I want to say, I guess housing the bodies, the one that considered to be indigent. I'm trying to. Yeah, please do.
Real quick, I think what you're saying that this is for funeral homes that apply to us because there's not a family member or something like that to take care of it. There's nobody around, or they don't have any kind of means to have a proper burial for someone. So they fill out a form to us for, and it's a state law thing. They fill out a form, and then we pay the funeral home. I believe it's $300 for that.
I'm familiar with that too.
But they're at the funeral home.
What,
We have our coroner.
Oh, okay, Kim,
And I think
thank
she
you.
can-
Sorry, I didn't see you. I wouldn't
Please
be
go-
answering
yeah,
for you,
okay.
but you and I talked about this, so.
Yeah, she might could make us understand this.
I'm sorry, I really didn't hear your question.
Well, the question was, you know, you said we're gonna transfer when somebody, somebody who's deceased and they don't have any money to bury her. That's what I thought it was for. And then they were originally making a request to the district commissioner and said, well, we got this body over at Lackey and they don't have any money, so we want you to donate $350, which will not bury them, but it may help with the cost of burying that particular person.
Okay, so right now, what the county has in place is that the county will provide, if the decedent passes away within Newton County, they will pay up to $300 for a indigent or popular burial. What I had looked into, researched, and actually spoken with many different counties. By state law, you can go up to $1,000, but it would be under the discretion of the county in how much is provided. My thoughts were, if the item line is placed onto my budget, I would give no more than $1,000 to $6,000 to $1,000, because $300 does not even touch any funds with a burial or a cremation. Once the item line is completed, it is completed.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
to my understanding, whatever the amount is there now is just the remainder. I don't know what you all started off with.
Well, we had started off as I kind of being, I know it was 150, and then doing some discussion with prior boards, we raised up. I think it was three. I thought 350, correct? But anyway, 350. We also had acquired property off of Carroll Street next to the cemetery, which is in District 4, and hoping with a little bit of work, if somebody needed indigent burial, they could bury them there. And I think if you look back in the minutes, it would say that the person would have a name on, I guess, or the name and a birth date. There wouldn't be nothing elaborate. And you would have to get with the families and find out what burial, if you could find them, and find out how they want to be buried, was Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, you name it, and go it that way.
Now, the cemetery is something that I am inquiring information on.
Guess it did in a splash, I think, way back when, I think 2010 or something like that. A little bit further than it was proposed by me, because I understand the need for an indigent burial by the county, because most of the other counties had indigent burial spot, you know, where you could literally bury or put the ashes, cremation or whatever.
Correct.
And so,
I think we're just discussing moving.
Correct.
some money, yeah,
The line
you're
item.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Well, that's something at some point I think we need to,
I'm
we-
sorry.
I think that's something at some point we need to look at and turn that also over to the coroner, so that the people can be buried there and take a look at it.
Yeah, we
Okay,
probably
thank you.
need to get some more information about that. But I think right now, we're just trying to get this one budget item moved over into another
Yes, ma'am.
budget. So do we have a motion? Okay, any more? Okay, Commissioner Long?
My only concern is if we're going to, there's been quite a few requests. I'm sure that has slowed down since COVID. But if we're giving $1,000, that goes to that money pretty quick. I mean, I don't know if it's better to give, you know, 400 or 500 and just limit it at that number. That way we can serve more families, or if we just run out very fast by giving somebody 1,000. So I don't know. That's something that we probably need to think about.
Once the actual process is done correctly, you will be able to weed out the families that really do not need the funds.
Okay. I know you and I have already talked about
Yes,
this, because as soon as I came on the board, I think I had like 8 or 9 that I had to approve, and I never even heard of it before.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Okay, all right. That's
Okay,
it.
we have a motion. We
Sorry,
do-
I just want to add for the record, one thing that you mentioned is it doesn't, whether the funds are exhausted or not isn't really a consideration. So the statute requires that if it meets the standards for an indigent burial, the county has to fund it. So even if we go through that $7,800, that doesn't excuse the county from providing that under the statute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, so all in favor? Okay, thank you, and that'll be taken care of. Next, we have alcohol business license. This is the final reading. Awevo Casey Taqueria. It's 11-230 Highway 36 East, Covington, Georgia 30014. The owner is Rachel Mari.
Marrero.
I'm sorry.
Marrero.
Oh, I didn't see you. Okay. All right, we need a vote.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you. Sorry about that name. Item number 12, annual alcohol license renewal, alcohol on premises consumption, TMN Enterprises LLC, DBA World of Wings, 5350 Highway 20, Covington, Georgia 30016, 7A-39. And the next one is SSUSA Inc., 2527 Highway 81 South, Covington, Georgia 30016. Item number 13 is public comments. Oh, excuse me, yes, these we need to vote on.
So moved to approve all 3.
Second.
All right,
Oh,
both of them, yes. All in favor?
You need to state the ones that need to be
Okay, thank you. Did you, Commissioner Evans?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I always like to ask for the record. Does anybody know of any violations by either of these two in the past year? I'll take that as a no. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the public comments. This allows the public to comment on open topics. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. So do we have anyone?
Good evening, Board. Elena Sanders. I actually came here to speak on a topic that wasn't on the agenda, but when I happened to see item number 10 in regards to factory shows, my question is going to be to my interim commissioner. Factory shows and also the park that was proposed, well, actually approved for District 3 were on the same SPLOS. We have not heard anything in regards to District 3 and their parks. Now, what I'm hearing in the community, I believe in going to the horse's mouth versus hearing various things. I'm hearing that you're telling individuals we don't need a park or youth facility, that you're going to give the funding to the organization that you propose are brought here to Newton County. If that is true, please let us know, because I have not even heard of a meeting with the people in District 3. We do have one coming up on January 15th, if you could speak with us. But the people have spoken in regards to what they would like to see in their community. They voted on a referendum. So if you can please get with us to find out what we're going to be doing, because to have other parks pass us up and we haven't had one thing done in District 3, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to look at you, because we have nothing done. You live over in Oxford comfortably. We don't have parks and recreation on the west side. We have a lot of youth. Majority of your people live on the west side of Newton County, and we have none of that. So if I have to get up here every meeting and speak for the people of District 3 and the other people that will come, they couldn't come tonight because there was another event came, so I sacrificed to come here, then I have to do that. It hasn't to do about being the former commissioner's seat. It has to do about being a taxpayer in this county. And we deserve the exact same thing. Also, if you have an issue with any constituent, you decide to serve. And that goes for every commissioner up here. You decide to serve. And when I ask a question or send an email, I sent the email on December 12th to you, sir, as well as to the county manager, asking what's going to be built on Brown Bridge and Caldwell Road, because we all heard it was going to be another gas station. We already have 5 gas stations in that short area, one with a liquor store. Why would an approval of another gas station go in that area? You live in an area that does not have 5 gas stations on the corner. We don't want it. So we're asking, please, I plead to you, have a meeting with the people that you decide to sit up in the seat. The governor asked you, you accept the appointment. If you can't do it, then don't do it. Thank you.
Anyone else have a comment?
Austin. I live in Covington, Trelawney. I think as many people as possible need to speak to that particular issue about parks for our youth in the 3rd district. I live in the 4th district, but I'm part of the west side. Again, it doesn't even make sense not to. You're building more houses. There are like new houses next to where the high school is right now. A bunch of apartments. There are gonna be a lot of kids coming in there. It doesn't seem like you're really planning for a community. And this is what we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about what kind of community would you want to bring your children up in? And what do you want it to look like? I don't think you want a place that has gas stations on every corner. I think you want something that looks like it fits for a family. Don't even consider not building a community center for District 3, which actually has absolutely nothing right now. And it's one of the most populated districts, right next to District 4. Okay, so I need people to use some common freaking sense. Common sense. And think about the people that live there, think about the families, think about where you would want to live. If you wouldn't want to live in that particular area, then rethink it. Okay, common sense.
Is anyone else?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just got a couple of things I'd like to say, if I might. We got some flyers here for. I talked with Laura Riley this morning. I met with her. She's gonna help me do cemeteries this year. So we'll be doing that on the Monday after King's birthday celebration. And the celebration will be the 3rd Sunday, which will be, I think, the 18th, 17th, I think it is, at 3 o'clock down at Newton County High School. And I also would like to put in your hearing on May the 4th, 21, this board promised that they would look into realigning Moat Road with Highway 162. I go to Good Hope Baptist Church out there, and sometimes it's kind of hard getting in and out with the speed limit as high as it is. I realize that this board doesn't have anything to do with DOT, but something's gonna have to be done eventually, or somebody gonna get killed right in that area. Even this morning, when I got up and came out to look out, there was about 5 wreckers across my driveway on 162. A tractor and trailer had done turned over across my driveway. If I needed to go someplace, I couldn't even get out of the yard. Broke a pole, and Snapping Shows stayed there till about almost 11 o'clock this morning fixing that. But we need to, I've been complaining about this. I would like to see a guardrail put up there. That would help something. And also the speed limit would help from there past the churches. So consider, look at after, see what we can do. And just like the young lady was just saying about the District 3, the community center and so forth, you need to look at that also, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else? At this time, we'll close the public comments and we'll move to the board comments. So.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All I've got is Happy New Year. Look forward to hopefully a productive year on this board. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mason.
I echo that. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. I'm glad that we are here. We have breath in our bodies, the activities of our limbs, blood still running warm in our veins, and we have another opportunity to really take our community to the next level. So looking forward to a very productive 2026.
Thank you. Commissioner Cooper.
I just want to say Happy New Year as well. And I also want to address a couple. I know we're still in the staff, we're still in the process of working, looking for land for the park. So I have not said anything about doing anything differently for us to doing the park. I know that we need it, and I think I've been pushing the park ever since 2006, 7, somewhere it goes as far as back that. So I'm not going to change on that, far as that. And also, in getting email about something happened in 2023 on a gas station that I wasn't not even aware of, so I had to wait on staff to even get some type of information because it was proved on a previous commissioner. Matter of fact, I think it was Ms. Sander. So I'm not aware of anything that was proven in 2023. So I could not answer any question on something as a gas station that was proven in that time frame. But yeah, for as town hall, I'm gonna do a town hall on my own and make sure that I want to do a town hall, make sure it's productive. I don't doing town halls where I feel that they're not productive, maybe more of a production than a productive. But as soon as I get my updates, and I'll make sure I put a meeting together and I'll communicate with the community as actually what's taking place.
Thank you. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited about the grand opening of Nest Night for the community. And it's supposed to be held December 29th at 11 o'clock a.m., if I'm not mistaken. January, I'm sorry, thank you. Okay. And that which would be good for that particular community. I'm also looking forward to the ribbon cutting of RL Cousin too as well, and for the betterment of that community. So I got 2 community centers. And I was just gonna say this, about 2 months ago, I think I was thinking about in December, or latter part of November, when my community called me, came to my house, knocked on my door, and said, JC, we want you to go with us down to City Hall to talk about a zoning where they wanted to have a convenience store, I call it a little mini liquor store, right beside the liquor store on Highway 36. But anyway, I want to thank Mr. Roger Tingler and that particular board, which I thought the staff already had wanted to approve it because they were their recommendation. But when they looked at, when we talked about what it would do to our community, I said, well, are we going to have a liquor store on every corner? Are we going to have a liquor store right next door to me? Shouldn't the community should be involved? And they sent our way, and they turned it down. But now we got something else. They're talking about adding the storm payment to our utility bill. That's a no-no. We don't need that. We can't afford it. We can't afford additional storm drainage money, and we can't afford more taxes. And if we're going to have the community talk about taxes, let's let them talk to us before a decision is made. Thank you.
Commissioner Long.
Just want to say Happy New Year too, and how I've missed y'all for the last 30 days. So, and all of you that attend all the meetings, it's nice seeing you again. And that is all for me.
Okay, do I have a meeting? Do I have a meeting? Do we have another meeting? Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? All in favor? Thank you. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and Happy New Year.